To say today has been a long day would be a goddamn understatement and a half. Holy shit, I am tired. I have not moved. I have just moved rooms. Okay, this is the one spot in my whole apartment that's not flooded. It has been a day, chat. It has been a day. Basically, for those who don't know, Massachusetts is getting absolutely f***ing hammered right now by a hurricane. Now it's more of a tropical storm. Probably just got close to finishing. Let me give a little check. Yeah, it looks like it actually just finished. Okay, so it just passed. But it absolutely f***ed us up quite a bit. So what ended up happening, it seems, and I'll give you guys a little show. I can show you some stuff. Just give me a couple minutes. It appears that my neighbor next door isn't home. So I live in a building, okay? So you go in the door, 1, 2, and there's 2 different sides, like apartments all the way up, okay? I'm over here, okay? So to go into next door is another one of those buildings where it's like 1 left side, 1 right side. The person whose apartment, who's wall to wall with mine, is flooding. There's also the person above me is an absolute baboon and had somehow got their apartment flooded from leaving the windows and balcony not shut. I don't. So their apartment's flooded. So I got a 2-prong attack between baboon and buffoon on both sides. And that person on the opposite wall from me is not home. So they did not report that their apartment is flooding because they're not home. So person above me floods. Person to my right floods. Water's got to go somewhere. It has leaked through the wall. I was actually sitting at my desk today, like ready to start my stream. I was like, and then I put my foot forward and went, and it was all wet. So I put my other foot there just to be sure. And that one got wet. And I was like, oh my God, my PC is right here on the floor. So I pulled it, right? And I put my finger on it. It was this close, chat. This close to my computer. This close. And so I pulled everything out. Dude, honestly, if you've seen my setup was f***ed. I had so much shit I had to move. But I got everything moved out, put it on tables, my bed, etc. And I put a couple towels down. And I was like, damn, it's leaking through the wall. So I took a little break, you know, because I was like, you know, I had to move a lot of shit. And I called, you know, the office here. And I'm like, hey, my apartment's flooding. They're like, oh, actually, there's like a bunch of apartments flooding. I wait like 25 minutes. Nobody shows up. I get a call from the office. They're like, so our guys went to the wrong apartment. I'm like, okay. They're like, they'll be at yours soon. I was like, okay. So another 15 minutes goes by and they show up. And I'm like, yeah, it's just against the wall. And he starts walking across my room. And I just see him splash. And he's like not over there yet. He's like halfway through my room. He's splashed and he looks down. And I was like, oh. I was like, I guess it's over there now. And he goes, yeah, that's got kind of far. Because he sees where my towels are and he sees where he's standing, right? He comes over. Now I realize I'm like, he spread it even further than I thought. And we start checking. It's actually under my bed too. The entire underneath of my bed is completely soaked. Like gone. Luckily my bed is on a frame, so it's raised. Did you want me to bring over a pool floaty? No, I can swim, thanks. They come in with a vacuum and they vacuum a little bit and they're like, well, it's gonna keep coming in. And I was like, yeah. Well, we don't really know what to do. So one guy leaves and this other dude and me were tight because he helped me hang up my TV in my apartment and I tipped him very, very well for helping me. And so he's always been like, you know, he always like slides me the details, you know? And he was like, yo, just so you know, there's 3 pumps that are supposed to keep the place from flooding. One of them has malfunctioned. And I was like, okay. And he was like, that's why it's flooding. I was like, all right. So they do some stuff. And the other guy's like, yeah, we can't do anything until tomorrow. We just gotta wait. Like, there's nothing to do. And I was like, okay. So first guy leaves. The second guy, the guy was like, you know, told me the extra stuff helps me move my stuff into the other room, move my whole fucking living room around. I'll show you guys in a minute. I'll show you everything. Just hang tight. We got everything moved, and he's like, yo, listen. He's like, honestly, he's like, you should go get a hotel tonight. Tell them to pay for it because this is kind of on them a little bit. Tell them you don't feel comfortable staying here for the night, and they'll pay for it. Go somewhere, you know, wherever you want to go. And I was like, okay. But before he left, though, he told me that the across the hall from me is also flooding. So I'm in a bit of a predicament, chat. Over there, my room is flooded. Over there, the hallway and slash like the edge of my kitchen is also flooded. This is the only spot of the house that's not flooded. Flat's got a personal island going on. Okay, I don't want to hear it. So do you guys want a little tour? You aren't going to be able to hear me, so I can try to like point and stuff. Okay. Boy, this is cool. I gotta, where's my slippers? So I need my pool shoes. All right, chat, you aren't gonna be able to hear me that well, so I'm gonna try to yell. I don't think it's gonna pick it up, but I'll try to yell. Okay. You like this setup, chat? Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. We got the 3-prong setup for the camera, good to go. All right. Come in here.
I'm on fire!
Here's a digital towel to help.
Oh. I've got all my stuff just thrown all over the place because I got nowhere else to put it. And it's so as you can see, you couldn't really hear me. So I was trying to point at different things so you could see it. The line I drew was where the water starts on the carpet, all the way to the wall, under the bed. And then I showed you all my shit in the living room I had to throw in there and in the hallway. No, it hasn't come from the hallway. Oh, no. That's round 2. It's come from the wall over here. There's just a second round of flooding coming from over here. So right now, I'm like Moses. I've got the sea parted, okay? I got water over here and I've got water over here. But right where we are is dry. How is your shit flooding? What do you mean, how is it flooding? God opened the sky and dumped his bath water. What do you mean, how is it flooding?
Sorry about pissing all over your apartment.
You think you're funny, God? You think you're funny? You fucking put your dono as God and say sorry for pissing all over your apartment? You think you're funny? I will find you. I will check the logs. Do not test me. Hotel stream when?
Chat, now we know that water makes everything wet. Blanky's fire pepog.
You know what? I'm gonna let you have that one.
The next morning.
All right. Good morning, chat. Oh boy, I am so tired. I am so tired. If you haven't been here in a couple days, my apartment flooded yesterday. Bad. So last night, I spent the night in a hotel. I may have had just had a piece of rock for a bed. I've never slept on something like this in my whole life at this point. I'm a pretty big dude, right? Typically when I climb into bed, and Stone Panther with the Prime as well. Appreciate you guys. When I typically climb in, you know, like if I do like one knee first, you know, like it'll do like an indent, right? Like not like a full indent, but like a normal bed. Like if you start to move in, like that part will go in. Then if you take another knee in, like that part will go in. What? I put one knee on this bed. The whole thing moved as a piece, like down a slight bit, but my knee did not go into the mattress. The mattress did not move. And I was like, that's weird. So eventually when I went to go to sleep, actually at one point I was sleeping like not on my side, but like a little bit more tilted, a little further on my side. Like, so instead of like normal side, like it was like more towards the front. And I actually like had to move because I had a sharp pain right here because the mattress had no give. It had no give. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. So I didn't sleep like at all, which by the way, can I say something? Can I say something, chat? What is with hotels and putting the massive mirror in front of the toilet? I do not want to watch myself take a shit in the morning. I don't like, who the came up with that? Anyways, I woke up, I looked in the mirror and my eyes were literally like fully red, right? You know, my eyes were just like I look like I was fully like tripping on something because like I didn't sleep. I was rubbing my eyes all night. It was just awful. So I took a shower after, you know, got dressed. So I got myself packed up, whatever. Which, by the way, if you haven't stayed in a hotel in the last couple of years, chat, hotels have changed a lot. So when I checked in, I did everything from my phone. My key was on my phone. When I got to my room, I just took my phone and put it against the door and it opened. When you checked out, you check out from your phone. Didn't have to talk to anybody. It was great. I didn't have to talk to a single soul. It was the best experience ever. So I got up, went outside, threw my shit in the car, started my truck, and I left. And so I drove home because I was a little bit nervous. It rained last night. I wanted to see, you know, if everything was fine. So I came in and I noticed something. When they plugged in the dehumidifier and the 2 fans to like air out my apartment, they plugged them in the bathroom and they plugged them in an outlet in my room. Now that's a problem because the outlet in the bathroom and the outlet in my room that's closest to the door do not work unless the light is on. Guess what? The light wasn't on. It wasn't on. One fan was on in here in the living room. So the living room was the only one on. So I was like, this is bullshit. Like I was like, why the fuck is this not working? Well, guess what? I walked over and I turned on the fucking bathroom light and breaker goes off. Every light in my house went poof, it just fucking shut off. I'm like, great. So I flipped the breaker back and I tried it again without the lights on. The bathroom lights plus the dehumidifier plus the fans goes out again. I was like, so I've had it at this point. I've had it. So I got into my truck and I drove down to the office down the end of the street and I go in and I'm like, well, can we talk? And it's like one of my mom's friends works there. I'm like, can we talk? Because I've literally had it at this point. We go back and forth and someone else walks in like right behind me and like, I don't know, she just couldn't read the room. Like she was like, we're having a conversation. I'm like, yeah, like I get it. Like I can't do my work. I can't stream. They hooked it up all wrong. It's blowing the breakers in my apartment. Like I was like, I'm not sleeping there again tonight. Like there's no fucking way that place is dry by the morning, like by tonight. Like if you walk, you literally hear sloshing. Like that's disgusting. Like it's not gonna happen. And she's like, well, I don't think they're gonna pay for it. I was like, no, you're gonna. I was like, they're gonna pay for it. Like the reason this happened was because one, there's a malfunctioning pump, and two, because the person on the other end from me, she left her windows open when a tropical storm was coming and went on vacation, and it flooded her whole apartment and flooded into mine. And I was like, what else do I need to tell you guys at this point? Like, and so the lady is like who just walked in is literally standing like 4 inches from behind me, and I'm like, like she's like breathing on my neck. I'm like, I'm gonna kill her. Like, I don't know who this person is behind me, but I was literally about to just take out my rage on this poor lady behind me because she's breathing down my neck. And so the person I'm talking to is like, I'll show you the room, and I'm like, what room? Like what? And so she's like, come with me. And so we walk by the lady and we leave, and she goes, why why was she standing so close behind you? I go, I don't know. And so we go upstairs and we're laughing. And she goes, she's like, I just wanted to walk out because like, I didn't know how else to deal with that situation. And I was like, okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. And so she's like, I have a room for you. And I was like, okay. And she was like, there's a place here in the office. It's an old movie room that nobody uses. I could set you up in there for your stream. And I was like, okay. I'm like skeptical. I'm like, okay. And so we go up and I'm like, is it wireless or hardwired? She's like, wireless internet. I go, that ain't gonna work. And she's like, well, I'm sure we could find a wired. I was like, okay. So we get up there. She shows me. It's just literally an empty room. I'm like, I'm gonna need like a lot of stuff though. So they find like, you know, like the fold out tables that you use at like college parties for beer pong. She has one of those. And I'm like, I guess that could kind of work, but like this wouldn't hook onto it, my mic. So I'd have to use this one, which whatever, I'd make it work. But regardless though, I was like, okay, like honestly, it would be a really bad setup, but I could make it work. We just have to check the internet. And she's like, the internet will be fine. Like, it's always fine. I go, well, internet that you use every day at the office is very different than stream internet. And she was like, how is it different? And I was like, well, the upload speed is honestly much more important. Most places that have basic internet will give you like a decent download speed, but very slow upload speed because you don't actually need upload that often. And she goes, no, ours is fine. Okay. She's like, I'll let you test it, you know, just to prove it. I go, okay. So I test it really quick. 50 megabytes down, 10 megabytes up. I go, that ain't gonna work. She's like, why not? I was like, I'll be literally like in 360p. Like that wouldn't work. And she goes, Jeffrey, why are you being difficult? And she's like, I'm trying to be helpful here because the manager here isn't gonna be helpful. So I'm doing my best. And I'm like, I'm not saying anything against you. I'm just telling you the truth. And she's like, well, then I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, okay. I need my apartment fixed. And if it's not fixed quickly, then I need to be compensated for that. Whether that's for the hotel rooms or etc. And she's like, well, they're not going to pay for any more hotel rooms past today. You're going to have to take that up with your insurance. I go, you do not want to start that war. Like, I was like, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the place you. And she's like, what? I go, there is no shot. I was like, I have videos. I was like, there's no shot anyone would sleep in here with 3 industrial fans and a dehumidifier going. Who the would be able to sleep with that? No one. Like, they are all and they're all blowing at my bed. So like, if like that would be the most uncomfortable. You'd wake up with the driest throat of your whole life. I was like, if they're not coming till Monday, then you're going to compensate me for me staying in a hotel. And they were like, well, I don't think they're going to do it past today. And I was like, nope, that's going to happen. I literally have video proof showing what the conditions currently are. You do not want to do this. And she was like, well, I'll see what happens. She was like, I'll send one of the maintenance people. And he did come. And she's like, I'll see what he says. So he comes over, he comes in, he goes, still wet. And I was like, oh, do you enjoy the smell? And he just starts laughing. He's like, yeah, that sucks. I was like, trust me, I know. So he comes, he checks it out. He's like, okay, because he knew the wiring of my place. So he knew one of the breakers in my kitchen was on a completely different system than what the lights are part of my bedroom and the bathroom. See this cable? That's actually running from my bedroom. So we have the dehumidifier and a fan in my room right now going because it's still musty as shit in my room. And basically I said to them, like, I was like, I don't think you understand. I have thousands of dollars worth of equipment. I'm not moving that all the way down the street. I'm not packing my truck, moving it down the street to your office to then move it up the stairs into a tiny room that has shit internet and it's not gonna work. Again, they're like, well, I think we're just, you know, we're trying to offer solutions. And I was like, the solution is to come in, rip the carpets up because the water's dried, the carpets are still soggy, rip the carpets up and replace them because you're going to replace them anyways on Monday or Tuesday, but you don't want to have it done on the weekend. It's not that people don't work on the weekend, it's they charge extra on the weekend and you don't want to pay for that. So basically she was like, well, you're going to have to talk to your insurance about that. I was like, if I end up talking to my insurance about that and I show them the videos and I tell them what's happening, they're going to compensate me but I have a feeling they're gonna start some shit with you guys. Just saying. Now, if there was water damage to my stuff, they would pay for it. But if I'm being inconvenienced and I can't live in the situation, like it's not a good living area to be in, that's not totally on them. Can you please make the video and upload it to YouTube? I actually have a shitty version on Twitter, if you want to see it. I can show you really quick. So the quality is a little bit shitty, especially the audio. So I won't blast it too high. But so this is behind me right now with the fan that's just gone. So this corner was all wet. You can kind of see it. And then right here you'll see this whole area is soaked. I think I get a little bit lower to show you. All over here is soaked as well. This whole corner.
All of this over here was soaked. All of over here is soaked.
Basically, if I was to draw a line, it would be like right here all the way across. That would have been soaked. And you can kind of tell right here. Do you see the discoloring on the wall? This is, I'm pretty sure that was not there before. That's where my desk was. You can tell because my monitor is actually banged up against the wall a few times, but that was not there, I'm pretty sure. You can pretty much tell this whole area where my desk was is just f***ed. This whole area right here is just f***ed. But basically though, this room is pretty much dry at this point. So I got the fan removed from my living room. I shut the door in there. I recalibrated this a little bit. You might still hear a little bit of noise. There's not much I can do about that.
They're supposed to remove the padding and remove at least 6-8 inches from drywall all around where there was water damage.
So last year, this actually side flooded behind me back here in the living room. And they just replaced the carpet and they refused to replace the baseboards. Now, actually, I actually have an air purifier from my building that's still here. Because 6 months ago, we realized that I was feeling really terrible. I was like, something's wrong with my apartment. Like, I feel sick in here. And some of you guys were here for that, actually. If you've been here for a long time, you were probably here 6-8 months ago when that happened. And then they finally said, oh, there's mold in the baseboards. We'll replace them now. Because they didn't want to replace them when it first got damaged. So, yeah. Basically, I might have some extra time on my hands to deal with this shit.